You are now listening to Highly Inappropriate.
Welcome to Highly Inappropriate.
Love it.
Love it, love it. I am Matt. This beautiful, very white, not so Christian boy to my left is Michael Britt. Mike, you want to say hi?
Hey, how's everybody doing? It's good to be here.
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. You know, it's very warm outside, but funny you say that. It's like the warmest day of the year, but as I'm driving here, I got the windows down and the wind's blowing, and I feel like a giant pussy because I started to get a little cold. But speaking of people that aren't pussies, this guy to our left, our very first guest, is Austin the Flash Tweedy. Austin, would you like to say hi, bud?
Hey, how's everybody doing?
So, Austin, why don't you kind of, I don't have to give a brief interview here or a brief synopsis of what you do, but why don't you explain to me why you're not a pussy? Explain, what do you do for fun?
I've been fighting professionally, I think, 3 or 4 years, and I've been training and fighting probably about, I think, going on 7.5 years.
You know, that's crazy to me. So, a lot of people, Grant, I've dabbed in MMA a lot. I've not ever fought, but, I enjoy sparring. And people like to ask me, what is it about getting in a room with your friends and being punched in the face? What is it about that you enjoy?
Man, I've always loved fighting. I grew up doing it with my older brother beating me up every day, and I liked wrestling. And, it was my sport. I was getting in trouble in high school here and there, getting in some altercations, so I figured I might as well start training and get paid for it.
Yeah, it's a great transition. So you said you did wrestle. Did you wrestle in high school?
I wrestled 7th and 8th grade. I started in high school and wasn't getting along with one of the coaches that moved from middle school up into high school, so I kind of just got away from it a little bit, started training here and there. Ran track and a few different things like that, but no, I didn't wrestle all the way through high school. I wish I would have.
That's impressive too, because I've seen a lot of your fights on YouTube, and it looks like you're just a natural wrestler.
Yeah, I beat a lot of good wrestlers. Even my senior year, I went in there and beat some guys that placed in state and everything like that. So it would have been great if I'd wrestled all the way through, see what I could do. But
do you contribute that with you just being a freak athlete then?
Yeah,
Really?
Absolutely.
I forget. I was having a conversation about you one day. I think it was up at IBJJA, and somebody was just discussing you don't really lift weights much, do you?
Yeah, I lift quite a bit. Not as much like I used to in high school. I used to lift for a lot of powerlifting and everything like that, but more transitioned it to MMA, a lot of reps and rounds of it. But no, I don't lift heavy anymore.
It's funny set. So this guy over here.
I don't lift at all.
No.
Right. I don't know if you can tell or anything.
Well, speaking of wrestling, it's hard enough for you to wrestle your dick out of your trousers to take a piss, right?
It's a big dick.
No.
Right.
Well, no, I think your pants are just on tight or something. But
that may be too.
Right.
It's funny, and people always ask us how we're such good friends because I don't watch sports, which I see that as a smack in the face because I don't have to watch sports just because you do.
No,
We've got all kinds of things in common.
For sure, you don't have to watch sports, but it's funny you say it because I took him to your fight, the last fight that you had against
great fight, by the way.
Dan Head. We had a blast. I got way too drunk.
We did. We got really drunk, and then he started telling me to yell stuff at the ring, and being drunk, I did. So,
the best part was we're sitting next to Brett and Chris, who run Midwest Fight Series, and they're probably like, "Why the fuck did we give this guy free tickets?"
Oh, I guarantee it.
Because I'm like, they took their job, doing the whole South Park thing.
Never again. They'll never give us tickets.
But you think we're allowed when your fight happened? Listening to Brittany, which for those of you who don't know, Brittany is Austin's significant other. Tell us a little bit about Brittany.
I met Brittany back when I was 16, and then we kind of just drifted apart. About I think probably about 21, 22, she had got out of a relationship, hit me back up. We hung out for a while and started dating, and then just kind of rekindled everything. And she's real into the fight. So I mean, until I had that crazy war with Tom Schoaf up there, she was I kind of had a panic attack. But she loves him. She gets so pumped, man. I watched her high jump onto a chair and run up to the cage after it. But
Oh, she was cracking me up. She was almost as entertaining as the fight was because she's like sitting there, like even punching with you and shit. It was.
oh
it
yeah,
was
she's
pretty
got the head movement going. She trains around with me. She never wants to get punched in the face, but I mean, she's a freak athlete.
Do you ever use her for sparring? Obviously, you're not punching her, but maybe just the movement aspect at all.
She'll lightly hold mitts and stuff for me here and there when we're just kind of doing cardio type stuff and
Fucking around.
we do a lot of workouts together, and she likes to hit mitts and do punching bag workouts and all that, but nah, she's not really into training a ton anymore.
Now you mentioned your fight with Tom Schoaf. Was that how you pronounce his name?
Yep.
And we had a conversation before we went on air here. So what happened in that fight?
Man, it was an all-out war. I was in great shape, and I made some rookie mistakes cutting weight, getting ready the day of. I kind of got pumped a little too early in the night. We were main event, so I'm hyped, ready to go about 7:38, 9 o'clock, and then as time dragged on, I just started dying down, and I've kind of got over it a little bit, but I had some really heavy sports-induced asthma, and I get in there and I'm going at it hard like I always do, and I stand up and my throat starts closing up, and I'm like, oh shit. And Tom Schoaf is not somebody you're going to get away with that with, having a bad fight. So
This isn't a guy you find at Beech Grove Walmart who's going to throw shampoo at your head. This guy's trying to kill you. I mean, they'll stop the fight before that happens, but yeah. So you have an asthma attack in the middle of the fight.
yeah, it felt like breathing through a straw. And Tom Schoaf was, if I remember right, he's a pro boxer for a while. Some really heavy hands, hard kicks, and good cardio. He just kept coming forward. I kept taking his punches with my forehead. I'd get a takedown here and there. Man, it was an all-out war. And, yeah, I've learned a lot from that one.
Now, do you feel even in a loss? Do you feel like you learn a lot, or do you feel are you? Is there some sort of gratification even in a loss like that?
Absolutely. I learned a ton from that fight on just how to prepare for the fight, how to conserve my energy throughout the night. I'll actually bring like a lawn chair, like a lay-down lawn chair before the fights and just lay back there and relax while everybody's, walking around, and just to calm me down, because otherwise I'm pumped. I'm watching the fights, watching friends fight, and you got to control that energy, because even the best people out there, you don't control that energy and have an adrenaline dump, you're going to look like trash in your fight.
I mean, adrenaline's a crazy thing. I competed in a jiu-jitsu tournament down in Kentucky. This is my first jiu-jitsu tournament ever. This was in 2009, and I had an adrenaline dump about 2 minutes in. I went in, took this guy down. I'm like so hyped. I'm jumping, I try to get this guy in an arm bar, and I miss, and he transitions and eventually gets side control on me. Laid there for 3 minutes. I was done. I couldn't move. I was out.
It's crazy how it works. I mean, your whole body just shuts down. It all feels fatigued, and you went from having offense to defense and trying to survive.
And of course he pointed me, and I lost the match. And it's my first jiu-jitsu match ever. I was 0-1, and I went home with my head down. I was so tired. I planned on, because that was no-gi, and I planned on competing in gi as well. And I just didn't have the energy. I could not believe it. I said 2 minutes. I was done, just drained.
That's it.
That's exactly what happened, man. And Tom Schoaf's a beast, and I hung in there for all 3 rounds. We ended up getting Fight of the Year for that fight, and best fight in HFC history, which is
Nice.
wild, and man.
Do you think that your I mean, obviously it probably has, but your mentality has changed quite a bit from when you started to now? And then like what is your mentality right before you get in the ring?
I fight a lot smarter now.
Okay.
Before I'd been in, some, like I said, some altercations outside
Right.
of the cage a lot. So, you can't fight like a street fight in the cage, especially at the
get
pro
your ass
level.
beat.
Yeah, I fight a lot smarter, more strategic, I guess. And yeah, it's definitely changed.
Yeah.
You got to conserve your energy, because it can go 3, since I got the title for MFS, it can go 5-minute rounds. So you really got to be careful how you expend your energy.
Yeah, I kind of got to take us in a different direction here, because you talk about street fighter. So with how many times do you meet somebody, them knowing you're a fighter, and they think they're some badass street fighter, and they kind of, I wouldn't say pick a fight with you, but they kind of, maybe hint at that they could probably take you. I mean,
oh man, I've had so many friends that I've even hung out with, and they're like, "Man, I used to box," and I'm like, "Well, you can come up to the gym and sign the waiver. We can find out if I can box too, huh? But
That's
now a lot of people will get in my, even if I go out to a bar or something, they'll try to act tough for a while, and then they see that I'm just kind of looking at them like they're,
That's so silly to me.
Well,
Like,
well,
why well, just think about it. Okay, you train.
Yeah.
You train. I mean, that right there gives you an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
For somebody that sits on the couch and eats potato chips and says, "Hey, I used to box."
Yeah.
Come on, give me a fucking break.
But yeah, they don't train. It's why they don't understand how much you put into it and how good you got to be to get to the point, where you're high level and pro. And they don't comprehend that in their head. And they're like, man, I've got in the backyard with my buddies here and beat the hell out of them back and forth. So I probably could do it to this guy.
There's so much humility in the sport, and I mean, people don't even understand. Like, I took 6 years away from jiu-jitsu. I got in there and I couldn't roll. I did one round and I thought I was dying. And I mean, it's still to the point, I've been back in for a year now, and 90% of the gym can still kick my ass, So it's like, you have to be humble, especially if you're a lonely white belt like I am. It's a bitch, man. Training's a bitch, and it really humbles you because you think you're gonna get in there. I've had guys that I know have wrestled I have a bunch of friends in Shelbyville, and they're on the wrestling team, and I'm not gonna mention any names, but Kyle Hogan.
Oops.
Kyle was like a state wrestler, and I challenged him to come in and to train one time, and he did, and he kind of gave me the nod. He's like, wow. He goes, that's a whole different ball game. And I was like, yeah, it is, man. I was like, and me, I have no wrestling experience, so I'm automatically at a disadvantage because half these guys that come in here are wrestlers.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was gonna. We were talking about wrestling. I was like, man, seeing you fight, I was like, dude, you have to be a wrestler. But the fact that you tell me you didn't even wrestle in high school, it just...
Yeah, I mean, I was good when I did wrestle. You know what I mean? I beat a lot of people in middle school and was tearing through people. And then I've also done a lot of judo. I've done a lot of jiu-jitsu. I just kind of combined the whole game.
Did you just get
my brown belt?
Brown belt? Congratulations, by the way. That's
you.
Awesome, man.
Thank you.
It's awesome. That's awesome. Brown belt. That's like... I mean, how long did it take you to get your brown?
I mean, I've been training good 7 years. It's kind of hard because I don't get to put all of my time towards straight jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So it could be a little different there. I've also built it in taekwondo, pancration, judo. I've done some kickboxing and everything. So, but it's been about 7 years I've been doing jiu-jitsu.
Well, it's funny. It's fun. The funny thing about jiu-jitsu is I remember being karate as a like a little kid, and I would get a new belt every 6 months. It don't work like that in jiu-jitsu.
No,
it doesn't.
You really got to earn it.
No, you absolutely have to earn it. It's unbelievable. Like I was so excited when I got my first stripe on the white belt, and I mean that took me 8 months.
Yeah.
8 months just to get a stripe, and you need I mean technically 3, but 4 just to get the blue belt. So. It's crazy, man. So let's talk about this fight you have coming up. So when's this day? It's actually this coming Saturday.
Saturday, yep.
You ready? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. It's been a rough year off. I have unfortunately have terrible allergies, and every couple days I'm feeling like I have the flu almost. Head stuffed up, my body's weak and stuff. So I've been taking some precautions to make sure that I'm going to be feeling great for this fight, and it's kind of to test the waters. I mean, I'm not downplaying the opponent by any means. I'm getting in there and feeling it out, you know what I mean? Then I'm going to hit another big one in June, so.
So tell us a little bit about this opponent you got coming up. His name is Jay Ellis.
He's had a ton of fights. He's explosive. He's nobody to take lightly. He comes out, especially in the first round, and gives it his all. He's very unpredictable. I mean, I watched him throw a flying knee. I've watched him throw some nasty leg kicks. I watched him come out, shoot, and take a guy down and choke him out. I mean, I'm not taking him easy or lightly at all.
Especially, I mean, if you're a wrestler, some of those guys that throw flying knees. You looked at kind of what Romero did to Chris Weidman. Mm-hmm. Weidman goes for a shot. He literally takes his damn head off, knees his fucking head in. It's nuts. You got to watch out for that. So,
absolutely, a guy that doesn't really have anything to lose because he's at the point where he knows he's not going to really probably make it to the UFC or anything like that. He's kind of messed his record up, but it's dangerous. He has nothing to lose out there. He'll throw anything, and that's kind of scary.
And this is a lightweight bout.
We were actually doing a catch weight at 165.
165 was that. because you've had problems cutting weight, or him, or
No, we just both kind of agreed that we didn't feel like cutting all the way down to 55 for this one. You know what I mean? It wasn't for a belt, nothing like that. So.
do you? What are you weighing in right now?
Right now, I'm right around 171, and then it's gonna be a cake. You know what I mean? Dude?
Yeah.
Cut a few pounds.
Now, I mean, could you legitimately cut like the 7 or 8 pounds in one day?
Yeah, I definitely can. I usually diet down as much as I can. Just lighten the food weight basically in your body, and then water load, and then cut that out at the last minute, and it should all come off easy.
So, I mean, what's your diet consist of?
When I'm cutting weight, a lot of eggs, chicken. I like Greek yogurt, different things like that. One downfall to me is I cannot stand vegetables, and that's one of the main things you're supposed to eat. So I take some supplements here and there for that. But Brittany tries to get me to eat pretty healthy because she's almost eats perfect. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm over here like, we could probably get pizza tonight. You know?
It's got vegetables on it,
Right.
maybe.
You know exactly. When people tell me I got to eat vegetables, I'm like, oh, you mean so I can get celery and put peanut butter on it, right?
No, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Vegetables are like potatoes and corn. And that's about
Right.
That's about it.
I mean, I can eat shit out of potatoes. Like,
Asparagus is good. Sweet potatoes are good. Like,
Yeah,
No?
not bad. I can eat them. I just don't.
don't like
just
to.
don't
yeah,
like
it's
to.
not my go-to.
it's like anything. Man, that's crazy. That's nuts. Well, good luck in your fight. I
Right.
hope you kick some ass again. It's this Saturday. Where's the fight at in Muncie, correct?
Muncie Fairgrounds out there.
Great.
So
Then tickets are still on sale, or are they sold
tickets
out?
are still on sale.
How can we get those tickets?
You can go through me, or you should be able to get them at the door. But we got some big names on this card that sell a lot of tickets. So I would get there early
Right.
and not be drive all the way out to Muncie and be standing outside.
Right. Now, how many people fit in the venue? Do you know?
I am not 100% on the number. I mean, it's hard telling. It's a whole different venue. I've only been here one time. It's a smaller show than I usually fight at, but it's got it's stacked. It's got some good talent on there.
Now, is Hoosier Park, is that like the biggest venue you fought at?
Hoosier Park, Crane Bay Event Center. I've fought down in Kentucky at Turfway Park, I believe is what it's called. I fought in Grand Rapids at a big show. I fought at Coliseum Combat back in the day.
Nice.
So I've hit a few pretty big venues. But, yeah, Hoosier Park had a cool one.
Yeah, I've always thought they had a great setup. Do you know what the future is there?
I believe they're moving to the Pan Am Plaza downtown.
Pan Am Plaza. That's disappointing. I knew there was a little bit of logistics issues and certain things that were going on there that they weren't happy with, which is disappointing because going there, I mean, that was a badass setup.
Yeah, it was.
Especially, I've been to maybe a dozen, amateur mixed martial arts shows or, smaller promotion, mixed, not amateur because you're technically professional. So just smaller mixed martial arts shows. And I'd say that was the coolest setup. I've been down the Armory and people fighting in a circle cage that looked like it'd been put together by your drunk, uncle.
Yeah.
I've seen some stuff, but that was a sweet setup. And, for them they let us go in the cage and take pictures beforehand. So,
from what I hear, the Pan Am Plaza is going to be awesome out there downtown. They got some high hopes for it, so I'm excited for it.
And you're not allowed to speak about that fight yet. Is that true?
Nothing's locked in yet, so we'll hold off a little bit.
All right. Well, Austin, tell people, the listeners, how they can follow you on social media.
I got a fan page on Facebook. I have a Twitter. I'm trying to get more active on that. Follow me on Instagram, and that's about it at the moment.
Right on, brother. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming by. Good luck in your fight this Saturday. Austin the Flash Tweedy, he takes on Jay Ellis this Saturday in Muncie. So we're going to wish him the best of luck. If you don't have tickets yet, make sure you get on Facebook, hit up his fan page and get some tickets for $45. Is that the
25, 35, and 60 for VIP.
60 for VIP? I was close. Does that include free beer? Because that would get me in there.
I'm not
All right,
for
brother.
sure.
Hey, I appreciate it, man.
Hey, thanks for having
Good
me
luck.
on, guys.
Thanks so much.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Highly Inappropriate. We want to mention somebody that's not a sponsor of us, and that is Rail Splitter. So just want the fine folks at Triton Brewing Company know that we enjoy your beer. We love your money. Hopefully profanity does not offend you, and a few sexual jokes and humor. I may show my tits on this episode. I have not confirmed or denied that it will happen. It depends on how many of these fine brews that I have.
You think that they would sponsor us?
They might. I can hit them up. Be like, fine folks
Right.
at Triton Brew. I mean, I've already gave you a spot, bro. I mean, we're going to have some listeners. We just had Austin Tweedy, so.
Right.
Not bad.
Yeah, I enjoyed having him on.
He had a great-
We'll have to have him on after the fight as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, hopefully maybe if he gets busted up a little bit, which, you know, he doesn't get messed up. Because the dude, you look at his record, man, he's finishing most of his people.
He's a beast.
He's finishing most of people in the first round, dude.
Right.
And, I mean, he's a grinder, man. He looks like he's got a few submissions on his record. Does have one fight that went to a decision, and that's the fight he lost, I believe. But he's a beast, man. You know, proud he represents not only Indiana, but he's right down the road from New Pal. I'm telling you, man. If you're an MMA fan, you're a mixed martial arts fan, a UFC fan, whatever you want to call the sport, it is mixed martial arts. But
Right.
you still have the fanboys that call it UFC. But whatever. He's gonna be around, man. I'm telling you, he's probably gonna be on an undercard in the UFC. You know, eventually, you know, he'll probably be featured on the undercard, and you know, he'll work his way up. But I guarantee he's gonna get a shot soon. I just have a feeling, man, because you don't just. I call it the amateur circuit. He's not technically an amateur; he's a professional. But you know,
Is it like the lower end of the professional circuit?
well, it's just a smaller. Right now, he's working for a smaller promotion because
Right.
they have smaller promotions. So it's like, you know, in baseball, how they have double and AAA teams. He is in like a AAA promotion right now, and as he works up and gets better and gets more noticed, you know, he'll be featured on the bigger promotion like UFC or Bellator. You know, I mean, UFC obviously is major leagues. I mean, it's a major leagues. I would call Bellator is a major league player, but they don't quite have the roster the UFC has. So they're not quite looked at like the UFC is, even though they have some big names. But I say Bellator right now is kind of where the great fighters go to die because they have great careers in the UFC. They get cut or they move on because they get pissed off. A lot of fighters are pissed off right now about the UFC current Reebok deal. They signed a deal with Reebok. So you used to be able to, if you would have a fight in the UFC, you used to be able to go and get sponsors on your shorts. And it's funny. I bring this up. The reason I'm laughing is because they used to be a sponsor called Condom Depot that was on a lot of people's asses. And it's like, you know, I just make the comment to my brother. You know, we watch all the fights together. And
Did it have nothing to do with condoms?
no, it had everything to do with condoms, but it'd be a weird place having Condom Depot written over your ass. I mean,
Like, hey, get your condoms here.
yeah, my ass is a condom depot. If you're a male and your ass is a condom depot, that means you're getting fucked in the ass. And
Which I mean,
guys with massive masculinity, like these guys in the UFC that are punching each other in the face, you know, I don't know if they put too much thought in that or not. But guess what? If those guys are paying me a couple grand, you know, I'll write. I like dicks on my shorts. You know, if they hand me 20 grand, you know?
I probably would too.
I mean, but
that's funny though.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It's random sponsors. I mean, I hope that we get some random ass sponsors on here.
No,
I
absolutely.
mean, stuff that we enjoy. I'm not gonna. We won't sponsor anything that we don't actually use.
No, we will. That's kind of, you know, we watch the Jason Stapleton program, and he's kind of an advocate for pretty much for every sponsor he has. You know, he's like, the reason I go after these sponsors because I actually use these products.
Which is great. I don't think that anybody should do it any other way.
Well, you know, it cracks me up too because Monster Energy is a big sponsor of MMA, and these fighters, you know, granted, you know, Monster's extremely popular, but you know, these fighters
They don't drink that shit.
No, there's no way
That stuff's horrible for you.
Well, they follow these strict diets, man, and they're cutting. And it's basically anytime you drink a Monster, it's a bunch of empty calories you're putting in your body. It's not good calories; it's empty calories. And it's so funny because they force them to drink these Monsters like after the fight. So they're sitting there getting ready to do their post-fight interview, and they're drinking a Monster. It's like that's the last fucking thing you want after you've been putting in a 15, 25-minute war, man.
How does that quench your thirst at all?
Absolutely not.
If anything, it make your heart beat faster.
Right?
Fuck that.
That'd be awful. Fuck that. Yeah.
God, that's horrible.
Speaking of meeting or making art, Jesus, I can't talk today. Triton, thank you very much. Your beer's already taken effect. I've taken
Sips.
I've taken a couple sips, and I already forgot the English language. So good job.
Yeah, they've been in there for a while though, but they're still good. So I mean, I don't know the shelf
great.
life on them, but
Yeah, beer's
very
beer.
good. So so you just went out and purchased a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. So
Are you excited about that?
speaking of making my heart beat faster, I'm extremely excited about it. So, I'll tell a story. I walked in the door,
Right.
and your brother, I heard something about Zelda, and I've been playing Zelda since I was a kid. It's one of my first games I ever remember playing on old classic Nintendo. Walk in here, your brother's playing Zelda. I was like, where the fuck did you get the Switch at? He's like, I got it today. He's like, they're stocked everywhere. I'm like, what?
Right.
I figured, here's what pisses me off about Nintendo. It's the same thing they did with the little NES Classics, man.
Right.
Anytime they do a release, they put like 6 in each store.
Yeah, I got 2 of those things.
It's like, what the demand is for these things. Just stock the some bitches up and make some money, man.
Well, they do that to create the demand.
Well, there's
It's a
already
marketing
demand for
ploy
it.
that-
No, I get it. But like Nintendo, you've been around for 30 fucking years. There's already demand for your product. I mean,
Right.
there is. You don't have to. I understand why they do it, but you don't have to do that because you could sell millions more on opening day.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why they do that because it's not like the price is any different.
I think
when they release it the second time, the price doesn't go up or it doesn't go lower.
I think that it's almost making an event out of the release because if you think about it, if they know that the store is going to be stocked up, if you as a consumer know the store is going to be stocked up, you don't necessarily have to make that 5 o'clock opening to get your
Right.
Nintendo. You can wait till maybe tomorrow or maybe wait till payday like I didn't today. I seen that.
He definitely didn't.
I didn't. I put it on my Best Buy credit card. 6 months, same as cash. Whatever. I'll pay it off probably in 6 years, but whatever.
Right. Default on it.
I'll default on it,
Nintendo.
and I'll sell my house, and that I don't have. I'll sell my house, and I'll pay for the credit card.
Well, the thing, and I was gonna bring this up. It's like you were talking about them creating demand and making an event out of it. I don't understand. Like the only reason I can see them doing that is for like media coverage, to get free. Like if the media covers it, then that's free promotion for them. But like you said, the demand's already there. So what the fuck's the point? Like everybody goes out, and I've been guilty of it too. I'll go out and I'll get the new iPhone.
Did you ever go out on Black Friday?
Fuck no.
Why? I've never went out early, but I have been out. Like I've literally went to Walmart on a Black Friday once, and the only reason I did it is because I was trying to score with this chick, and she needed something from Walmart. So I was like, "I'll give you a ride, whatever." So I did.
You could have got lucky because what you were after was not tampons.
No, it was not tampons. She didn't need tampons. They weren't on sale, unfortunately. Especially the wide gap
Super
one,
absorbent.
which I don't know a lot about tampons, but
Yeah.
do they have different? Do they have
wide
different
gaps?
Do they
They've
have
got heavy
different-
flows.
Is it different sizes? I don't know how that
flows.
works.
I've never bought tampons, but working at a place that I used to work at quite a bit.
The whole idea of a gaping vagina is a complete
learned a
myth,
lot.
by the way.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, if a vagina can push out a baby, you think your little dick's gonna?
Nah.
No, absolutely not.
I can't hit the walls.
You
I
can't-
can bottom out.
Wow.
I can't hit the walls.
See, I can't bottom out. I hit every wall there. You know, I mean, it's hard. I got a tuna can dick.
Hung like a tuna can.
He hung like a tuna. I'm like a baby gerbil, but you get my grip. You
I
get
don't know.
my grip.
I just think that America is some of the worst consumers ever.
Oh, they're stupid.
Worst.
We could go on and on about the stupidity of the average American.
We can do that because this is our
mean,
podcast. We can do whatever the fuck we
We
want.
can do whatever we want. I mean, the commercialism in this company, it's amazing. You can sum up all of our problems with the fact that, people bitch and bitch, especially the little guy. We bitch and bitch and bitch about corporate America, but where do you shop?
Corporate America.
You go to Walmart.
Right.
Why not go to your local deli? Why not go to your local farmer's market?
I think that it's a convenience factor as well as the price point because your price point is always going to be lower at a Walmart or a Kroger. So
Even if, here's the funny is you factor in the price of gas. Granted, it depends on how much you're spending, but I mean, I would say price
Price point
is definitely the biggest factor. But if you think about it, man,
you think that'll ever change? You think that
no, we're fucked.
We're fucked.
Absolutely fucked. Because I mean, I'm completely against. And here's people say, "Oh, capitalism's evil. It created No, the government created corporations because when the government decreases competition, this is economics 101. When the government decreases competition and it picks winners and losers,
Right.
you get corporations, of course. If you say, I mean, it's common sense to say, hey, we're going to pass this regulation. All X, Y, and Z businesses have to meet these regulations. And if you're a small business, if you're the mom and pop, if you're Bob's Bikes down the street, and you have certain regulations, whether you have to pay for your employees' health care or there's a certain code you have to meet for the door, whatever, I'm going on, I'm blabbering
Well,
here.
a lot of businesses can't. What you're getting at is a lot of businesses can't afford to pay those fees, so they have to go out of business because they cannot fall within the regulations that are the parameters that are set.
And who can afford those? The Walmarts.
Right,
So
Walmarts and Kroger's and
so every one of government's quote unquote good deeds have very when I say unintentional consequences, I wouldn't say
It's
unintentional. It is intentional. It's definitely intentional because they know what they're doing, and they're not stupid. I might say every day that a politician's stupid, but they know what the fuck they're doing.
they're stupid.
Yeah, they're stupid
They're
as fuck.
fucking stupid, but they know what they're doing.
No, because they're getting their fucking pockets lined.
Right.
You could fix every problem in this country by making lobbying completely illegal.
Right.
What I mean by that,
Number one.
yeah, number one, I mean, because if you serve on the board of any corporation, or you own a corporation, or you're, it's hard to put a cap on it, but if you have the ability to put money in a politician's pocket, then they can start voting with that money. You have no chance. We have no fucking chance. The little guys have no chance in the world. What are you supposed to do? Nothing.
I don't even want to get into this with you right now
We just
because
sit there
this is how we end up with Donald Trump's.
Yeah, this is how we end up with Donald Trump's. Well, I mean, we end up with Donald Trump's because people are fucking stupid and they watch it. I mean, we end up with Donald Trump's for some reason. We end up with Barack Hussein Obama's.
Right.
It's some guy gets on TV, says some outlandish shit, and a bunch of stupid people fall for it. I mean, it's embarrassing. Speaking of Donald Trump, let's talk about Syria right now.
All right. Well, I mean, what are your views on as far as him, throwing a barrage of missiles over there?
Yeah.
How do you when that came on the news? I know that you don't watch a lot of news, but I mean, you heard about it obviously. So when that came on, what did you think?
Well, I mean, my thoughts on World War III. I really think I think we're on the brink of.
Really?
I really do, and the reason I say that is because I thought one of the reasons I did not want Hillary Clinton to be president
Because of that?
Yeah, I mean, first that because she straight up said I'm going to violate Russia's no-fly zone.
Right.
And if you piss off Russia, it's going to be World War III. I mean, Grant, nobody in the world can stand up to our army, but you have enough people to stand up to our army. Right now, I was trying to find a graphic on Facebook. The people that are opposed to the Syria attacks that we just did, two of the biggest countries are China and Russia.
Yeah. That sucks because if China nutted up,
China has 4 times more people than we
dude,
do.
they'd fuck us up.
It's like
so bad.
I mean, yeah, our military's stronger, quote unquote stronger. We spend more on our military, but I mean, I don't like our numbers there.
I mean, kind of going off in a tiny bit of a different direction. Do you think that we're still a superpower?
Yes, I do. I definitely do. We're a superpower as long as we're spending 10 times. Here's what's funny. It's the people that want us to be a superpower are really going to kill us. The John McCains of this world, the Donald Trumps, the people that want us to just go and bomb. I mean, you don't. I hate when people call. It's mainly the neocons that call libertarians isolationists, which is bullshit. Because I wouldn't call myself an isolationist. I believe that war's not the answer. No. I believe that it should be the last answer. But if you're attacked, I don't see any problem with.
I think that sometimes it's a necessity. As far as like if they were to attack us,
you can't just say, oh shit, my bad. But you look at even the 9/11 attacks. Whether you believe it's an inside job or not, we've been meddling in the fucking Middle East since World War II.
Right.
I mean, you can't sit there and say, well, we didn't do it. They just attacked us because out of nowhere, because they hate us. No,
okay.
That's fucking propaganda. That's bullshit. But no, did Syria just attack us? Did they attack us? Have they attacked us?
No.
No,
not
so
at all.
What the fuck are we doing over there?
Well, I mean, we should. I'm with you in the fact that we should. if they didn't directly mess with us, then I wouldn't have intervened. Like, that's not, and people can get pissed off about that all they fucking want to, and they can hate me and get mad at me for my view on that. I don't think that we should be over there. Like, it's just the fact of the matter is that America tries to play World Cup, and that is not what anybody needs to do.
Well,
How much trouble has that gotten us into in the past?
it makes everybody hate us.
How many times has it worked?
Well, like when we bomb our own people,
Yeah.
when we kill our own people, when we had the Civil War, did another country come over here and say, okay, they're killing each other, we need to go and get things right here?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't.
nobody
Did
cares.
they? I don't think so.
Why do we as the United States care? Why do we care?
No. Well, it's all about power and money.
And if
That's
you're
all
going
it
to drop
is.
bombs, Mr. Donald Trump, if you're going to drop bombs, and I'll get to one more thing too in
you're
regards to that. If you're going to drop bombs, you need congressional approval, not like Congress. I mean, Congress isn't, but besides the Rand Pauls, the Rand Pauls, the Thomas Masseys of the world, you're not Justin Amash as well. Without guys like that, it's all a bunch of neocons. It's all a bunch of war mongering neocons because they all have money in as far as war trade goes. They
Money
all
invested.
Yeah, they all have money invested. So when the United States goes to war, they get rich off of it.
Right.
There's like 363, something like that, crazy. 363. There's what? How many total people in Congress? 500 roughly. I mean, I don't know the exact number. 300. So you're talking over 2/3 of the people in Congress right now are millionaires.
Well, I want to make one point. Is every time we go to war, they make money off of it. Correct?
No, correct.
Correct. Okay. And what do we use to fund war?
Tax money.
Tax money. What's tax?
Taxation's theft.
Taxation is fucking theft. Okay. Taxation is theft. So they not only put money in their pockets when they go to war, they steal
stealing it
money
from us.
from you and me and everybody else out there to fund the war. So you're getting fucked all the way around. Not to mention the people that die. They don't give two fucks about
No, not unless it's
you
your
or
own
me
son.
or anybody.
Your
No,
own
they,
son
the
or
hell
daughter.
they probably for the certain amount of money they probably don't fucking care anyways.
And my favorite thing about this all is all of a sudden liberals are against war now. I mean,
Yeah,
even though
I'm sure.
Obama dropped fucking bombs for 8 years, but all of a sudden all your liberals are coming out like, oh my god, Donald Trump's dropping bombs. Like,
Because the Republicans doing it instead of fucking Democrats.
yeah, like
Suck a dick.
Yeah, I mean,
That's so stupid.
it's
If it had a Democrat tag on it, nobody would be saying fucking shit right now.
no, absolutely not.
Because their
nobody
person-
did.
their
Nobody
person's
did for
doing
8.
it.
Nobody
Right.
did for 8 months at least. I mean, of course, you had stories coming out, but for 8 years you didn't have major news stories going, oh my God, Obama's dropping bombs in XYZ right now.
Right.
I mean, Obama promised to basically end the war on terrorism when he was in office, and it's gotten bigger. We've been fighting terrorism for 16 years and have essentially made no progress.
What's the longest war that we've had, right?
It's horrible.
Right.
Well, I mean, what are we doing?
Nothing.
What are we doing? I'm looking at you, camera people. What the fuck are we doing?
Be right back.
Yep, thank you. Yes, welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed another one of our commercials. I swear to God, we're going to have real sponsors soon. Rail Splitter, I'm coming after you. We might go after the local brewery here, Wooden Bear. They're fucking awesome. We did a Facebook Live with them. The guy that was on there, I forget his name.
It's Courtney.
Courtney. I was going to lean towards that. I knew. Sorry, bud.
It was a different name. That's why I remember that.
Yeah. I was like,
It's probably the third or fourth guy that I know. His name's Courtney.
but fantastic. The guy for 40 minutes talked about beer. I mean, what more can you ask out of a man, right?
He loves it. Does he still work there?
I have no. I imagine.
Not been there in quite some time.
You can't be
Unfortunately,
that passionate about something and quit that easy. I don't think, unless he went to a different brewery.
either that or he opened his own.
I went to Deer Creek Brewery last week, and it was pretty fucking awesome. I love going to breweries, because not only do I love beer, and I love the women that hang around the brewery, but just going there and hearing some stories, because each one of these breweries have a unique story behind them.
Taxman. We went to Taxman that one time.
Why are you here? Why do your beers have the names? What goes into this beer? I just like learning that shit, because my ultimate end goal is I want to own a golf course and a brewery. That way I can get drunk and play golf all day.
I think that it's great that both of us aspire to sell different drugs in our lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you right now, the day that marijuana becomes legal in Indiana, me and him will be the biggest drug dealers in
Are we going to
Indiana.
smoke on the podcast, you think?
Oh, I already told my mother. I was like, I was so against weed growing up.
I was too, though.
Yeah, and
So
I mean,
I believed in my government.
yeah. I mean, it was just, I just thought, this is before I was informed. I was a fucking stupid teenager, but, marijuana's harmless. Like anything, in moderation, it's fine.
Right. Anything in moderation is fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, granted, if you smoke pot 24/7, you're a bum. I mean,
Right.
is it going to kill you? No, but you're a bum.
I like. Joe Rogan probably said it best, and I'm not quoting him verbatim, but he pretty much stated that if you become a certain way because of pot, that's just because pot got there first. You're already that way.
That's true.
It's just that the pot got there first. You were going to end up that way anyway.
Well, it's funny, because a lot of people say that marijuana or, or pot that, makes you down or decreases your ambition. But, I mean, you probably have low ambition anyways if
your ambition's already fucked.
It's already fucked. You're
Right.
just using marijuana as your excuse because I know a lot of people that say marijuana makes them more productive.
Oh, yeah. I
100%.
guarantee it.
I'm telling you right now, I don't smoke marijuana, but I know it would help me because I don't have super anxiety, but I get stressed out real easily, like
Yeah.
at work and shit. And I was telling my boss the other day, I was like, if I could just come here, if I could smoke a blunt before I went to work, I think I'd be much more
You
productive.
get nothing done.
I would sit around, I'd eat potato chips all fucking day, I'd jerk off.
I think I'm going to take a trip to Colorado here next couple weeks for some R&D, research and development.
I think you should go with me. I think you should let me go with
No,
you.
you should go, but I want to go by train and I want to camp.
And by train, he means he wants to run a train on a random horn in Colorado.
We're going to get to that. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't smoke currently. So I just got to keep my eye on the prize.
It's funny. We have two huge marijuana advocates, and neither of us smoke pot. I have never smoked pot. Which is
I used to
thing.
smoke it on the regular, and I mean, as far as addiction withdrawals, none.
Let me bring up something here.
Bring it up.
In regards to the legalization.
Yeah.
I'm involved in this thing called Leadership Shelby County. It's like an 8-week, well, not really 8-week program. You go for 8 days out of the year. It's terrific. We had the police chief in there. I'm not going to mention his name because I do respect him, but I completely disagree with what he said. I like the guy a lot. I actually worked with him a lot when I was at Indiana Grand Casino. We sponsored a lot of their events. He's involved in various charity. He's not a bad guy by any means, but I do disagree with his opinion. We had a health and wellness day, so we basically learned about health and wellness. It was all over at the hospital.
Right.
And he had a little spiel about drugs. And I understand drugs in Shelbyville is a big problem, even though we both agree that legalization is the only way to solve the drug problem.
Right. Legalization, for everybody that doesn't know, legalization as a whole.
Yeah,
correct?
For everything.
For everything. All drugs legal, people. All drugs.
And the reason being is that's the only way to regulate it.
Regulate
make it safe.
You'd have less overdoses. You could get safe access. No guns involved. I mean, there's just revenue, tax revenue. Like, I know that people are gonna be like, "Oh, they just want tax money from it." No, I mean, if people are gonna do drugs, regardless of whether they're legal or illegal, so why not make them all legal and then reap the benefits from them being legal?
That's for sure. I'm completely against taxation, but while it's there, I'm realistic. I know it's not going away.
Right.
Unless
Right.
we
No,
decide
I
to
mean, there's
overthrow the
just-
government one day.
Yeah.
Cross your fingers, folks.
Right. No,
But,
I was doing that under the table. But
right.
anyways, digress and you were talking about the leadership program.
Yeah. So he went into one slide and he talked about. There's a few things I want to talk about. First off, he was talking about how I think I might have asked the question, "What is the number one cause of heroin? Like, people getting addicted to heroin?" He goes and he said over the counter drugs.
It's a opioid epidemic first.
Prescription drugs, people getting addicted to Oxycontins and
Vicodin,
Vicodin.
stuff like that,
How
yeah.
about said Viagra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just stuff like that. Then he went to another slide and he started talking about how dangerous marijuana is. And I questioned him. I said,
Oh God.
how's it harmful? And he was like, well, kids shouldn't be smoking marijuana. I was like, well, I was like, I don't think
We agree on that.
I was like, I don't think any kid should smoke, or smoke or do drugs or drink or do
Right.
anything because your brain's not fully developed until your early 20s.
20, 25.
So of
something
course
like
it's going to affect, our buddy, I'm not going to name his name, but he's openly admitted, and you probably know what I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about already.
Openly admitted when he used to smoke every day before school, and he was so stupid he wasn't even functioning. Like he wasn't there, and he'll even admit it.
But he was still, his brain was still developing.
Yeah,
at
still
that point in time,
developing.
So.
Like,
but for him to look back and be like, okay, well, that probably wasn't the best idea
absolutely.
for me. That stands true. That's good of him to realize that.
So, it's proven that marijuana is only harmful if you smoke it before your brain's developed, which that makes complete sense in the world. You shouldn't use any drug, alcohol.
Right.
I mean, you really shouldn't even use prescription pills.
No, I don't. And
nothing.
And now these days, I don't even take Tylenol for fucking headaches.
No, I mean, I
At
don't.
all.
I don't like. I'm completely convinced that the 15 or 24 pills that my grandpa was on before he passed away is the reason he died.
You should see the amount of pills my grandma's taking now.
I mean, it's
ridiculous.
Scary. I mean, it's like, and doctors are so focused on. I mean, of course, you know they're getting kickbacks on it.
Right.
And I had this argument with my grandma. She's like, "Well, I talked to a doctor at Hancock, and I was like, Grandma, it's not the doctors at Hancock that are getting the kickbacks. It's over their heads.
Right.
It's the big dogs. The doctors that are making $2 or $3 million a year or more.
That shit's ridiculous. But I'm glad that we agree that any drug consumption before your brain's fully matured is bad, and drinking and driving or drugged driving of any sort is horrible. So don't do that. I mean, we fuck around a lot on this show, or we will, as you can see.
Yeah, I'm not driving right now.
No, I mean, we're pretty responsible, even though we're irresponsible. So
yeah, we're pretty responsible, even though we're completely stupid.
But I think a friend of mine actually, she as well attended those leadership meetings. It's part of stipulation for the job that she works at, and she actually sent me the pamphlet that you guys went over. I'm not gonna go over names.
I already know who it is. Did she go to Morristown?
Maybe.
Okay, I know who it is.
So I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble. I don't know if that's public information. I'm sure that it's fine, but so I read over 20 pages of that, and I mean parts I laughed, and other parts I was just fucking disgusted.
Well, my favorite part, and what I was getting into is he then proceeds to tell me, or I think I make the comment that that every state that has legalized marijuana, the use of prescription pills has went down.
Right. The opioid epidemic has fallen.
I mean,
why would it? Well, that's because they're using cannabis for pain as opposed to the fucking opioid derived pills.
Yeah. If I can smoke a joint that has no ill effect on me and is going to help my back pain instead of taking a prescription drug that's going to kill my liver and possibly
potentially kill you,
kill me. Yeah. Possibly lead to addiction.
Right.
I think you have to have a certain type of personality to be addicted to something.
They do. I mean, and they've done studies where certain people have addictive personalities, others don't.
Yeah.
I know that people in my family are addicted to fucking food.
Yeah.
And they don't think. I mean, some of them.
And we're just addicted to masturbation.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, did you before you came on today? Did you?
Yeah, well, probably twice. I think I did in your bathroom earlier.
Yeah, that's why the toilet wouldn't flush.
Yeah.
Weird. But people have different personalities, and you just need to know where. I mean, the only way to find out where that's at is either don't do drugs or do something. And if you find out that you've got that type of personality, you probably need to not. Drugs aren't for everybody.
Well, and it's an epidemic. And when we say that we want drugs to be legal, you understand.
I'm not going to do them.
No, absolutely not. I mean, here's the thing: is whether they're legal or not, people are going to do them.
Right.
And if they choose to, and it sucks to say that, and you still want to get people, even if drugs were legal, you still want to seek out help for those that are trying to quit.
Right, instead of putting them in prison where they're not getting any fucking help.
I mean, we've had, I've had two great friends die in the last 2 months, from heroin. It's an epidemic, and it sucks. You don't want to see their families. It hits you. I mean, you're talking about two people under 30 that I know that have died of a heroin overdose in the last 2 months, and it sucks.
That's insane. And the insane part is that those people. Like, it's not just somebody in the news.
No.
You actually know those people.
No, I mean, one was extremely. I mean, one was like my second extended family.
Right.
So.
Rest their soul.
It sucks. It sucks, and their family's doing great things right now to help struggling addicts.
I saw that.
We just had a fundraiser here in Greenfield, actually, They raised over
I mean, you can blast it off.
$8
if you
grand,
want.
absolutely. So Hope Over Heroin, I believe is the
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the name of the charity. There's the Hope House. There's there's 3 or 4 organizations that were represented there, and I apologize for not knowing. Restoration Church, I believe, is another one that was there, and these are all local, local here in the community,
Right.
organizations that help addicts, and I mean that's terrific, man, because people get in difficult situations, and they feel that's the only way to cope with them, and it sucks, because I'll never understand that, I won't, but to think that there's people that have so much pain in their life,
There's
like,
all kinds of them.
yeah, and I'm extremely blessed. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I know what they're going through because I don't. But there's people that have so much pain in their life that they feel like they need something
A release,
to replace that, and
yeah.
it sucks. And these people just need to know that there's people out there that not only care for them, but there's help, and it sucks. And they know that I'm on board to help out in any way I can. I happened to be able to DJ their event. I was proud to do so, and it was a great turnout. I mean, it was
Yeah, I
packed.
heard it went really, really, really well. So
I mean, anytime you can pack a house for 4 hours and raise $8 grand. I mean, that's incredible. I was so proud of their family. So that's fantastic. So what I was getting at with this is I then proceeded to ask the cop. I said, so how many people are in prison right now in Shelby County for nonviolent drug crimes?
what did he give you a statistic, or was he like,
Well,
I'd
first
have
off,
to
he
look
said,
that up?
he goes, I don't know how many are in jail for
course.
nonviolent jail crimes because I know people are in there for drug crimes.
Right.
Nonviolent crimes. So and here's the difference when you say if they're in jail for drugs,
Right.
they obviously didn't steal something. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They're in jail. If they're
Because
in
they-
jail for non-violent drug offenses, then they've hurt nobody. They've stolen nothing. The only crime that they're being accused of is
Is possessing.
possessing a drug that is illegal and not sold by a doctor.
right for the drum roll.
Go ahead.
90%
Shut the fuck up.
90%.
90% non-violent?
nonviolent drug crimes.
Shut the fuck up.
90% of people in Shelby County are in jail for nonviolent. That means our taxes are paying for people to sit in a box. You're not getting them any help at all.
Right.
They're sitting in a fucking box and rotting.
Right. Your money,
For
my
possessing
money
a
is
drug.
getting stolen. Everybody else's money out there is getting stolen to keep people locked up
In a system.
who decided to take some sort of drug.
And there's no real help for these people. They sit in a box. There's no guarantee. And I've heard stories about, some addicts will beg to stay in prison because that's their only way to stay away from the drugs.
I mean, that's.
But there's a lot of drugs. If you look at the story that was about Marion County jail recently about the security guard that was circulating drugs for sex and all kinds of
Well,
shit.
they still get drugs in like prison and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
drugs.
So, I
drugs.
mean,
tell me. Not only do we waste our tax money or our money, the government's tax money on stuff like keeping people in there, but they also take our money to form task force to combat this, and how much has it helped? How much less of drugs do we have now than we did before those task force started?
Well, America has had a war on drugs now for over 50 years, and usage, I don't have an exact statistic, but it's around 300% has gone up. So you have declared war on something. So that would be like, it is kind of like we've declared war on terrorism and has increased.
Right, and then has that problem solved itself as
No,
well?
it's because
that sucks.
You know what? You know why people? Back to our conversation earlier. You know why people overseas? Why these kids? Why these 16-year-old boys are joining ISIS? Is because we're blowing up their fucking families,
Right.
And they're pissed off.
We don't even need. We shouldn't have been over there in the first place.
Right.
So.
It's like you're putting out fire with the gasoline.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with war. It's a war on anything. So we've had a war on drugs for 50 years now, and usage has went up 300%.
Yeah.
Heroin's
We'll
an epidemic
get statistics at some point in time. I'm sure we'll have a whole show on it, different subjects, but it's just ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I don't want to waste your money on that. I don't.
And I would love to. If there's any cops listening to this, and I know cops are kind of restricted on what kind of media they can do, but
right.
I would love to have one on. I'm not afraid to debate you. I'm not. Come on here. We'll talk all freaking day. you guys see the line of fire, but you're biased in a way, and people can't say I'm biased because I don't do drugs, so you can't. I'm just a informed citizen, but I think cops are biased in a way because they're doing their job. And listen, and for any cops out there, I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming the system. I think
we get it.
You guys are terrific, and I say this with anything when a cop shoots somebody or whatever it may be, stop blaming cops. Stop throwing every cop under a bus. There's a lot of great cops out there. We have great friends that are cops.
Right. Oh yeah, great
Yep.
friends. They like to give me a hard time on a few of my stances, but
Whatever,
no,
right?
I think and if you're listening, I'm not going to mention your name, but if you're listening, I think you do that just to clown around with me because you're probably not allowed to say anything different.
Well, that and your reading too, so you respect our opinion.
Right. So I love it. But if we could get a cop on here or at least somebody, maybe
or even a former cop.
Yeah. So I like how we're on the same page.
Exactly.
But don't check the closets if you come here because I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, there's bags of money and drugs.
Yeah. Somebody thought that I was doing that the other day.
And
so I went and put money on my phone bill and they're like, "Oh, I want to do what you do." I'm like, You couldn't handle what I do.
And here's the most corrupt thing about the drug hunters in our police force.
Yeah.
Is because I've spoken to somebody.
Yeah.
I'm not going all Alex Jones here. I've talked to people.
Right.
This is a true story.
I've got the inside scoop.
A friend of ours is in the DIA or DEA. Wow. Damn
DIY.
Triton beer, you are killing me right now. I am hammered after one beer.
Sucks.
Because I've been drinking all weekend. Don't judge me.
Anyways, go ahead.
We have a friend in the DEA, and he straight up says when they have a drug bust, they'll split all the cash.
Well, yeah, that
cash and drugs, and then they claim part of it.
Forfeiture as well.
Yeah, I mean, are you kidding me?
That's a completely another podcast too.
That's quick. So on that note, if you have any topics you guys would like to hear, please shoot us a message on any of the comments. We're going to post this on Facebook, Twitter. It's going to be everywhere. This thing's going to be awesome. We're not. It's
the second show that we've done, so
yep.
I mean, we're just getting warmed up. We've got to get a lineup going, so don't think that this is going to be the norm where it's going to be just kind of. I mean, we're going to have rowdy shows, people, and we're going to have subtle shows like this. We're kind of all over the board, so
absolutely. Thank you for joining us on Highly Inappropriate. I am
share,
Matt.
like, to
everything.
Tell your friends.
Shows to your
us.
Mother. Don't show it to your preacher though.
Show my wiener to your mother.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Later.